CNN ain't see none of my friends. Swag gave me the blues, they never walked in my shoes. They want us living in fear, it ain't what I'm trying to hear. Switched it over to Fox, kept clicking, I barely stopped. New guest on NBC, no one that represent me, so I got tired of waiting. Sid master debate, give me some headlines, it must be past bedtime. Sleeping on me still like I ain't vitamin D for real. Rep your city, play devil's advocate. Wayne Brady gon' have to smack a bit. Tell me something good, a recipe for success. Give me some timeline, shop session and flight deck. Hey, P, what's next? Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. On vacation, got the weed burning. Burn it. I say turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Nigga making all the same mistake. Lessons I ain't learning. Round my way, they call me C.O.D. My mama said that I've been swagging since the age of 3. And she ain't never lied, she ain't never lied. Still convinced I love you better in another life. Hey, they call me private party C.O.D. The only love that I let in, inspired by the leaf tree. And I'm still high, I ain't never lied. But I'm 5 years sober, one day at a time. Hey, now I'm just drowning in purple. Did my 12 steps in a circle. Still feel like I ain't deserve you.
Yeah. It's your nigga C.O.D. Decatur boy music. Not turn back. And I figure since we gave y'all a special episode last week, why not keep the sexy going? You know what I'm saying? Switch it up, man. Take that bit all the way newsroom. Bitch, I think I'm goddamn Joe Rogan out there. He talking about, not even talking about podcast Joe Rogan. I'm talking about news radio Joe Rogan. Fuck you talking about David Spade. He talking about shit, man. But yeah, man, because we all the way suited and booted, because we got this thing all the way geek, you know it ain't a newscast without my nigga.
You're in love with somebody.
He can't even pronounce
You should be in love with yourself. Today I'll do a couple good
What
deeds.
it is, man, it's your player partner.
A walking, breathing, blessing, that's
before, a.k.a. Casino P, a.k.a. Mr. Long P, a.k.a. Freddie P, a.k.a. Ressa P, Home Run Trot. We in here, man. We are in here. GSH Season 1 E12. We bike for another podcast show.
12. Man, I hit my nigga P up and I gave him 2 options for the flight deck combo because I'm just that type of guy. And he chose, and I'm not doing either one. Could I have my flight decks go, bro? I'm going to hit you with something off the rip. You cool with it?
I am.
Rory, because me and my dog, man, if y'all watch last week episode, you'll know we was both in the same place. And whenever that happened, niggas hit the links. So their headline gonna touch base because we was out there getting some good work in last week out there on the golf course. Rory McIlroy. Shouts out. Nah, we paid them. That's their shout out. They stole our memory card. Rory McIlroy calls to ban Bryson DeChambeau's putting method at U.S. Open. McIlroy on DeChambeau's putter. I thought we got rid of anchoring putting 3 years ago. So I ain't even got to read the whole article. How you feel about competitors bitching about other competitors' technique and trying to get the rules to like how you feel about that in general, bro? That's the gist of it. If you watch them play, you seen how wide that man putt and stroke is, but he do what get the ball in the hole.
Right. Especially in this sense, like the anchor putting, like change your putting method in. If that's how you see it, if you think if they give him an unfair advantage, obviously you can do it too. It's golf. Just do it too. Or shut the fuck up. But like it's like he playing within the rules. Like they would like that, especially with golf, like they are very adamant about their rules. So if he breaking the rules, somebody like they don't call him the
A Marshall.
They do call him the Marshal on tour. Yeah, the Marshal will come out there and he'll see to it that he playing within the rules. Or once you get in the clubhouse, like this entire round is for null. Like either you got to go back out there and play another one, or you disqualify.
There'll be a stroke penalty associated with different shit. You heard me?
Yeah.
So if he did it every hole, he'd get that penalty 18 times.
Exactly. And which will put him out of contention essentially. So
exactly.
I don't agree with what Rory, the way Rory McIlroy did it, because them cats, like those cats, they are all competitors, but they all in the same locker room. So after the first day, when he saw him putting that way after the first day, he could have addressed that with Bryce DeChambeau in the locker room rather than going to the media and going. And I understand why he did it, because he realized I'm Rory McIlroy, and if I say it out loud, then I think Bryce DeChambeau won, which is essentially why he bitching, because Buddy won and he didn't, and he had won like a major tournament in. I don't remember the last time we saw him at the top of the leaderboard, and he was supposed to be
back when he was with old Wozniak. Back when he was with Wozniak, the little tennis, she grown and fuck now, the tennis star.
Yeah. So that was the last.
Ever since he did Shouty Slick, he been missing their blessings. Square business. She somewhere giggling at his ass.
Yeah, and I know she at the top of the leaderboards.
And she knows a thing or two about whether or not he can he adapt the stroke. Innuendo. Hey, bro, just to kind of jump in that guy on you, not to cut you off, but the thing that wackest about it for me is I played football at a high level. You know what I mean? So I always equate things to something that's tangible. So for people, this is the equivalent of a receiver a country motherfucker who grew up catching bricks like Jerry Rice saying Odell can't catch because he wear gloves. That's what's happening. Nigga, if it ain't illegal to use that stroke, it's not an unfair advantage. Use that stroke instead of the one you learned. You mad you learned one that was harder because you thought that one wasn't gonna be doable? You Ben Simmons, take a jump shot, nigga. Ain't nobody stopping you from shooting outside the paint. Take a goddamn jump shot. You know what I'm saying? This from a nigga who long game stupid.
Like he still got to get the ball in the hole.
I'm rough around the edges, you heard me? I ain't never met a bunker I wouldn't go spend some time in. I love the beach. So my long game gotta be stupid putting. And I don't need no advice. P, is my putting stance conventional at all?
Not at all.
It worked though, don't it?
It worked.
It worked. If I'm within 10, that bitch in. If I'm within 20, I'm two putting, if any. You heard? Bars. Talk your golf shit, cuz you got the mic.
It's going in. You heard me?
Hey!
Oh man, yeah. My golf game is right now
left-handed.
Novice.
Don't use the word right. It's left-handed.
I couldn't go, man.
Hey man, let me get my cord out. Talk to the people.
Man, I had a chance to go play yesterday. Shout out to my boy Johnny T Times, the Jethro Jenkins. We shot them niggas out a lot. Man, y'all better shout us out. I'm just playing. Y'all ain't got to shout us out at all, man. I get a lot of good content from y'all niggas. So y'all do y'all thing. But I got invited to go play golf yesterday. And I had to do some fucking work. So, in a nutshell, what I want to say to the people is, man, if you can at all, work for yourself so you can go do the shit you actually want to do. Like I had to do some shit it wasn't that I didn't want to do it, but I would have rather been out there playing golf. My homie, he got a new girlfriend and she supposed to be that deal at golf, and I'm trying to learn from her because I got a round coming up this weekend in Mexico. First time playing outside of the country, so I'm looking forward to that shit. Big time.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I wanted to go play yesterday, play a quick 9, and learn from somebody who played at the collegiate level. She played at one of them schools in Texas. Wasn't UT. I think it may have been Texas A&M. She played, and she apparently cold as fuck. So hopefully I can get with my dog this week. And
was it that one with the purple? Tulane. Tulane in Louisiana. I'm tripping.
Yeah. No,
it's slipping my mind. TCU, that's the one I'm looking for.
Christian University. Horned Frogs.
I started to say Horned Frogs and I thought I had them wrong.
Yeah. Great nickname though. Everybody do like weak ass shit like we did. Like, I mean, Tigers is definitely.
Fuck you, dog. We weren't the originators. Everybody copied us.
Still in all, Horned Frogs is fantastic. Like,
I know.
Great fucking name. Like if somebody was named the motherfucking Decatur Sea Turtles, you would go ape shit,
bruh. Don't even do that. Like, don't combine Decatur and Sea Turtles. That wasn't fair. Oh, it'll be over with.
They told you could change.
It's the only clothes I wear.
They said C.O.D. Decatur Boy Music. C.O.D. Decatur Boy Music. If you donate $5 million to Decatur High School, you can rename the nickname of the school. You do that shit in a heartbeat if you had that money. Actually, you might leverage everything to make sure you can make that happen.
You already know it. And then I'm going to get them a tortoise that could live over 100 years. We going to name him Shelly, and he going to be the mascot. You goddamn right. I pay that in it $5 million if I got it to change the bulldog to a turtle. Oh, man. And then the bulldog could kind of be like one of them mascots where it's confusing to people why a bulldog is still always around when our mascot is a turtle. But it's just because we never let them go away. We'll name them and then keep one there like UGA, cuz.
Yeah.
Part of that $5 million better go to them building a state-of-the-art kennel for my man. You heard me? With a yard in it and everything. With an automatic feeder so if ain't nobody there. And I come get him in the off-season. If it ain't no students there to come in. You know what I'm saying? Do they thing.
We go
shouts out to God that.
That's once we make all our money. We gonna build a preserve in Texas.
Oh, you already know it, bro. Have all kind of shit protecting the farm, if you know what I mean. You come out here if you want to, kid, caught by these lions, tigers, and bears. Goddamn, hey, you tell me.
Oh my, I lost it.
Rocky Mountain. Hey, you talking about down in the Delta. Hey, you talking about I forgot what the fuck we talking about. We talking about golf.
We talking about golf. Yeah, we talking
about golf. Scrap B and I ain't even got my notes, nigga. I'm just chilling.
McIlroy, being a little bitch.
Little Marquez
buster. Being a little Irish high bitch.
And being a little Marquez buster.
That is so against his people, bro. The Irish would never do such a thing as a whole. The Irish some gangsters. And this nigga, he dry snitching.
So I swear, bro.
Like he must have been. He been in the States too long out there in LA on some whole shit.
He got that skinny face though, like, and I don't mean like whole thing, but it gets skinny where all of his features is. And I don't trust people with them skinny faces, cuz. That nigga, bro. He lame though. That's all I'm gonna say about that, bro.
Buddy, yeah. Shout out to Buddy Bryson DeChambeau, man. I think he won the U.S. Open, and he always wearing like Kango hats. So shout out to Cuz, man, for taking it to old school with his whole aesthetic out there on the course, man. I like
Square vid. Hey, man.
He look like he smoke a lot of cigars and drink a lot of whiskey, so I fuck with it.
Hey, shouts out to us. Hey, man, because we talking about sports and kind of controversial things and technicalities and rules and stuff, man, can we kind of transition into a controversial chop session?
Oh, with it, man.
I bet, man. I caught wind of a story Just scrolling through Yahoo Sports as I am one to do. Shouts out to Yahoo Sports. Yahoo Liggins. I've been fucking with them since back then. But the story was kind of crazy. It's about a transgender runner, CeCé Tefler, who was unable to run in Olympic trials due to eligibility rules. And the first couple of paragraphs read pretty quickly, and I'll give you that for a little frame of reference. CeCé Tefler, the first openly transgender woman to win an NCAA title, will not be allowed to compete at the U.S. Olympic trials in the 400-meter hurdles because she did not meet the World Athletic Eligibility regulations, the Associated Press reported. Tefler entered the trials held in Eugene, Oregon, but was not allowed to compete based on the World Athletics guidelines released in 2019. Regulations require runners in international women's events between 400 meters and 1 mile to have a testosterone level below 5 it looked like nanomoles. The proper enunciation is beyond me. Per liter, nanomoles per liter, for a span of 12 months. The regulations are associated with two-time Olympic gold medalist Caster Semenya, who had been fighting them for years. That was the young woman, I believe, who was from South Africa, who was born XXY. She wasn't transgender.
Okay.
But she had natural testosterone because of the Y. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where the lines got blurred. But for frame of reference, Tefler initially competed on the men's team at the Division II Franklin Pierce. She took time off and came back to compete for the women's team, winning the 400-meter title in 2019. What it doesn't tell you in the article is when she competed with the men's team, she didn't rank in the top 200. When she competed with the women's, she won the NCAA title. I just had to get that for frame of reference because I do a little research when I went, you know what I'm saying? When we be doing this. So she competed with the men's before she took her break. She wasn't in the top 200. When she competed with the women, she won the NCAA title and was headed to the Olympic trials before this roadblock. What are your thoughts?
That's difficult. Like I hate it for her, but in this situation, I will put it up to the people she's gonna be competing against because they're not gonna allow her to run. But I feel like whoever's making that call is not somebody who's gonna be competing against her. It's gonna be I'm sure this is a committee of folks who, like, these are the Olympics committee or whomever, some governing body. But I wish that they would put this decision up to the folks that she'd be competing against. Like, once the field is determined, the folks who she's gonna be running against, if she do make it to Tokyo, which it sounds like she has the ability to do and is in position to do, I wish that they would put it up to the people that she's going to be competing against to make that determination, because ultimately, like they worked their entire lives or for a considerable amount of time putting in this hard work. But it's all like, I mean, it's difficult, man. Like it is difficult because.
May I ask you a direct question?
Yeah.
From what you're saying, it sounds like you'd like for her to be able to compete if her competition didn't have an issue. You'd be fine with her competing.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous to me, bro.
Why you say that?
Because sports is an athletic, physical competition, not a mental one. I believe transgendered mathletes should be able to compete on the women's team. But shit like mathletes isn't separated boy, girl. You know why? Because it isn't physical competition.
Yeah.
Being born genetically a male gives you an unfair advantage in women's competition. Now, when we talking playing golf and shit like that, it's hard to debate and figure all of that out. But when we talking track and field, where world records are vastly different in every category, from long jump to shot put to 100 meters to hurdle to every single event. And when we have this young woman as a test case, when competing with the males did not rank in the top 200, and then when competing with the females wins the national title, it shows you a very clear case of why it is not fair. When competing against her biological equals, she wouldn't make the competition for nationals.
Yeah.
When competing against the people she most feels akin to mentally, she wiped the competition because of her physical genetic makeup. That is unfair, bro. And you can't tell me that the only way to have these discussions is to parrot back stuff that is going to make people feel good. We have to, at some point, be able to have a real conversation about this. The slow men are faster than the fastest women. This young woman proved it after her short break. It wasn't a break where her times jumped drastically. It was a break where she started competing against different people. The times didn't shift drastically. It wasn't a hellacious training stint where she went to Lithuania and then Australia and then started her own league like LaMelo and then came back and got drafted. You see what I'm saying? That ain't what happened.
I completely understand what you're saying.
Imagine if a weightlifter did this. How quickly the records would be shattered in women's weightlifting.
So is she shattering records?
That I could not find in my research.
Yeah. And I think that what would happen, and the reason I say...
I couldn't find world records attached to it and whether or not eligibility for that came into play, because this is the first time she has been sanctioned in this regard. And I think the fact that it's world competition as opposed to America, where being politically correct is huge, and especially at the collegiate level, because they drive the consciousness of the country forward in a lot of ways. They determine what's quote unquote cool as teenagers. And then when they get to be young people, they kind of kick the old farts off of their old ways of thought and this, that, and the other, and tell them, yo, the way you treating this group of people, that shit ain't cool. The way you doing this, that shit ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Step by step, they reshape the country and their image to where they become the old people trying to make it look like it did when they was in their 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But right now, the people who are in college are of the group trying to forcibly shift a really fucked up, narrow-minded view that we're demonizing a whole community of people to where it's pushing it so far left, logic can't enter any conversation. It's just all blessings, all good, all support, or you're a bigot. And I don't think that's healthy. And if my daughter didn't mind, I'd give a fuck, especially if she was the silver medalist. I'd be fucking furious if I was her father, if she was the silver medalist for the NCAA title.
Can I chime in and tell you why I said what I said?
What's up?
I said what I said, and the way, because I don't think that the people she's going to be competing with are going to allow her to compete with them if you leave it up to them, because they'll see the same things that you saw. And it won't be the governing body like the government saying you can't do that because you were born biologically a man and you're transgendered. And now you went from being outside the 200 to being a champion. I think the people that she's competing with will see, and it'll be the people that she is supposed to be competing with and against making that determination and not some governing body. These are the people who train. These are the people who go do this work every single day. And so they'll be making that determination. And I don't think that they're gonna be like, no, I worked my whole life for this. And look at what we see on paper that she did. We look at the evidence of what she was able to do when she switched from one side to the other. Like, I don't want to compete against somebody who has that type of I don't think you'll get, if you leave it up to a vote. It's kind of what we get to in professional sports, because it is a professional sport, is the organizations don't want the prisoners to run the asylum, but the people who make the determinations should be the people who are actually in the arena. I think that makes it the most fair. And it doesn't look like it's bigotry when it's like the athlete saying, look, no. This is what I've been doing this my entire life. Look at my times. You've been doing this your entire life. Look at your times over here and look at your times now that you switched over. That's way too much of an adjustment for us to say you can compete with us. So that's why I said yes. If they decide that she can compete, let her compete. But I don't think that's what they'll decide to do. Like you said, because if I'm the person who's the gold medalist right now today, I'm like, hell no. If I'm the person who's ninth best in the world, that don't keep me out of the field at all, because she's gonna jump into the field, and now I'm not even in the finals anymore. So you
don't get to be on stage for your country after working your whole life.
Exactly.
A decision made after a short break means the thing you worked your whole life for doesn't happen.
Right. And so that's why I leave it up to the athletes, because I think the athletes will make that determination, and it'll be the most fair that way.
I don't think it's fair to put the burden of being the adult on the 19-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, the 24-year-olds. Put it on the motherfuckers making billions off the Olympics to stop unfair advantage. Just that simple. Like, they measuring testosterone level and stuff like that. And I think it's just a much simpler way to do that, man, especially when it comes to sport. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's just, fair is fair, man. Like, if you look at it as a seed being planted, are we going to allow this in boxing because the weight classes determine fairness? We're going to allow this in boxing? Layla Ali would have been in Roy Jones' weight class. You want to see that shit?
No, I don't want to see a man.
Me neither, bro. Me neither.
At all. No.
And the only reason it's okay to say that is because that is a combat sport. It is just as unfair in track and field. It just is, bro.
That's fair, but I don't want, and not even to burden the other athletes. I just think that's their place to say, and I just don't think that they'll be. It's not that they were not gracious, but
this the thing, bro. If it's a bunch of little kids on the playground playing basketball, and you come hoop with them, it's on you to not block every shot they put up. You feel what I'm saying? Or you could just let them little kids hoop. You see what I'm saying? Wait for 10 people in your hooping skill set to show up and then hoop with them. You feel you done been to the park, man, and had to wait on the game to show up.
Oh, 100%.
You're like, this dynamic manifests in a lot of different ways in sport. Yeah. And to act like we don't understand it with gender is insanity. We understand it with age.
I completely understand that.
We separate Little League every 3 years, cuz. And we don't understand.
So what does it look like for this
biological? You feel what I'm saying?
No, I get it. Like
we don't let 11-year-olds compete against 7-year-olds.
No.
Come on, bro. And that's the last thing I say about it. But we don't let 11-year-olds compete against 7-year-olds.
I completely understand. It just looked like that's gonna be this.
Please don't kill the messenger.
Yeah, it's gonna be the end of her career as far as competing, unless you. Yeah, if she's competing as a woman moving forward, it's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, I like how you chose your words carefully because you just as scared as me. He said, "I ain't scared. You the one stepped in it. I set you up. I knew what you was gonna say."
It's gonna end her career, man. Because
and that's what I hate. The one thing that it hurt my heart. If this was a final decision, they should have let her run in these trials. Because whoever would quote unquote replace her ain't been training like she has. If you're not gonna let her compete in the games, understood. Let her compete in these trials. Let her finish the drill. That shit was burned into my soul as an athlete to finish the drill. If that shit kill you, finish the drill. We was in football practice after you finished the run. If you didn't get tackled, you had to run to the fucking end zone. And we would like, the deeper into practice we got, the closer to the end zone we would get. We might be running plays from the 50, so it was like a 50-yard sprint for them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then toward the end of practice, we'd be running goal line drills type shit. But anyway, finish the drill was burned into my soul.
I know what you're saying, nigga. I played football just as long as you did.
I mean, but for my heart as an athlete, I really wish CeCé would get to finish the drill and then hit these trials with a motherfucker and have a motherfucking if y'all did let me go moment. You know what I'm saying? Even though I genuinely feel it is unfair to put somebody who is going to mash them on the playing field with them on the world game stage. She done came way too fucking far to tell her now you can't even compete.
Yeah.
Say because of these fucking regulations that we put in place in between last Olympics and this one, and it's gonna have to be another couple of years before the way we do this to become more elevated, more open-minded, more fitting for today's world standards and consciousness, because I will be a dinosaur here shortly. So fuck my opinion, but that's what it is. And just like an asshole, everybody got one and they all stink. My opinion stink like a motherfucker, but I'm just sharing it. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But said all that to say, for my heart as an athlete, I really wish she'd get to finish the motherfucking drill. Yeah. Even if you ain't gonna let her go to the Olympics. We still on U.S. motherfucking soil when we talking about these trials. And that's the motherfucking national champ. They let her compete on that level. That's the goddamn champ. The champ go to the U.S. trials. That's what it's always been. You know what I'm saying? So that shit hurt as an athlete. That hurt to feel like that, to genuinely feel like this ain't fair. They shouldn't let her compete and feel like let her motherfucking run. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like, I did want to be honest about that. As an athlete, I feel for that shit hurt.
Yeah. True. But do me a favor, man.
What's that, man?
You give me some headlines.
Man, you see my background, don't you? Don't you let me put on my spectacles? You know I took them off for a reassurance so I could put them on. Swag. All right, man. I got some curveballs for you today, man. You ready for some different shit?
Heard.
So we there. That was the last story when I went back to my page. My bad.
Yeah.
It was something about midriffs winning the BET Awards red carpet. That ain't one of the stories I'm going to give you, but it might be an article worth emailing. I got some old ones in here. That's funny as shit. Okay. Government antitrust lawsuit against Facebook thrown out of court. 10 mistakes you're probably making in the morning by the Huffington Post. Because we never do fun shit. That first one was by the Wall Street Journal. So government antitrust lawsuit against Facebook thrown out of court by the Wall Street Journal. 10 mistakes you're probably making in the morning by the Huffington Post. And fuck. Okay. Life after 1918 flu has lessons for post-pandemic world.
Second story. I don't want to talk about none of the ones that surround it.
Gotcha.
Interesting stories. Do not want to talk about the motherfuckers.
Yeah, I genuinely didn't know that somebody was suing Facebook for a monopoly. Like, I didn't even know they were getting sued for that shit. And to know it's already been thrown out is crazy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But yeah, man, the Huffington Post, man, they want to get you right in the morning. For all those people who claim to not be morning people, they got 10 things that you are probably doing that you shouldn't be doing. You ready for number 1, P?
I'm ready. Let's do at least those.
Let me see if they did this backwards and I need to go 10 to 1 instead of 1 to 10. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 10 to 1. You ready?
All right.
Mistake number 10. Allowing external sources to influence your day. Boom. Nah, you ain't feeling that. Mistake number 9. Hydrating after sleep. You've not drunk anything for 6-9 hours straight. You're dehydrated. Do not reach for coffee first. If it's a diuretic and will dehydrate you further. Boom.
Yeah.
Planning for the workday. Let me know if you want an explanation on it. You want that?
I would planning for the mistake that you're making in the morning is planning for the workday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who plan for the workday when they wake up that's a problem. Yeah, 100%.
You want an explanation? Some say writing a to-do list, either literally or mentally, is a good way to start the day, but it doesn't work for everyone. Danielle Haig, a psychologist, says the most effective time to plan your day is the night before because it enables you to park your work for the day, enhancing a positive work-life balance. If you write your list whilst everything is fresh in your mind at the end of the day, then you can rest knowing you have tomorrow set to handle whatever you need to get done. It gives you a sense of control and contentment, making your recovery time effective. Number 7, reaching for caffeine and sugar. That's obvious. Forcing yourself to get up at the crack of dawn. We've all heard those crazy long morning routines that start at 4:30 a.m. Gang. Fuck what they talking about. That's not the end goal here. James Routledge, don't trust a Routledge, founder of workplace mental health organization called Sanctus, says, I'm not a fan of 5 things you need. What the fuck? I'm not a fan of the 5 things you need before 5 a.m. every day. I believe we have to be kind to ourselves and create our own morning routines that work for us. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. Number 5, hitting the snooze button. Obvious. Number 4, ruminating. You know what that is?
Yes.
What's ruminating?
Ruminating is ruminating. Just thinking about shit that you just isn't conducive to you.
Exactly. Going with thought patterns that magnifies and prolong negative thoughts and mood states. Skipping breakfast. Reaching for your phone first thing and leaving everything until the morning. Get that shit done the night before, basically. Yeah. I feel like P chose a very light article because the other 2 were daunting and he didn't want to be ruminating on them shits. But what are your thoughts, man, on those 10 mistakes? Are you guilty of any of the 10? If so, talk to me about it.
Oh, 100%.
What's your crimes? Which ones you guilty of?
The ones I'm guilty of, 1, are ruminating. I definitely 2, sometimes I skip.
I got so much shit to do today, man.
3
God damn.
I one of my goals is to something that I want to start doing and I plan to, but just haven't done it yet, is planning my day the night before. I usually get up early in the morning and like, all right, let me figure out what I'm going to do today. Because I realize I'm a lot more successful once I do it the night before. I go to bed like knowing what I'm going to get done tomorrow, knowing like what's prioritized and how I'm moving the next day. So that's definitely something I think is one of the better ones on that list. Snooze button. I hit that bitch this morning. Like my shit went off at 4:00 this morning and I ain't get up till 6:03. So yeah.
I'm trying to be the same height as you. Am I being distracting?
No.
I feel like I'm at a good level. Am I?
Yeah, you're right about that. Cause yeah, your hair is right about what my head is.
I don't want to be shorter than you.
Those are the ones I'm.
Let these bitches know.
Guilty of.
That what's up, man. Which one do you feel is the most detrimental? No, ask your question. Ask your question. Now, I remember, man. What you was finna say? Who the fuck what?
Who the fuck reaches for caffeine like first, as soon as they wake up? Like caffeine and sugar. That's insane.
Bruh, for everybody out there who like coffee, who be in a rush and be on that gas station coffee shit, here go a little player tip. I learned this in science class. When you mix your solids into the cup before you add the hot liquid, it's the hottest the liquid will ever be. So it works perfect for mixing that bitch in. Nigga, I put my sugar and my creamer in that bitch first, switch it around, mix it up, put just a little bit of coffee in that bitch and then swirl it so that it's completely liquid. And then I fill the whole cup up. When I say that shit be tasting fire, cuz. Nigga, that shit be like that much sugar in that cup. I be in that bitch wired on the road every time, right, nigga. Yeah. Explain a few things, huh?
It does. And also, because when you breathe at night, like you obviously you lose moisture. So after 6 or 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours of breathing, you lose a lot of moisture. Now, the first thing my homegirl, she said the first thing she do when she wake up is she drink
some dick. No, I'm flat.
Water. To replenish herself, and then she said by noon she drank half a gallon of water. So
when I think about women hydrating well, I think about women peeing. And when I was young, I really couldn't figure out what they peed out of. I seen talk about that on the internet recently. Grown ass niggas who still hadn't figured it out. What was your journey to understanding the female genitalia? Sidebar, not to cut you off, but we here now. When did you know? And was it like you Googled it, or like how you figure out where they pee at and stuff? You seen that happen?
I saw it happen in like different ways. So
that shit trippy, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's
once you see it, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and you understand, like, that's why y'all need so much toilet tissue. Like, women use so much toilet tissue. And I'm like, man, you shitting a lot. No, they don't, because piss every fucking well. Like,
and they got a pat dry, they can't wipe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's,
and you ain't gonna pat and fold. That's weirdo shit. I'd assume. I don't know what they end up doing. I'm lying. Yeah. I done been in long-term relationships. You see the horrors of life, goddamn.
Yeah, man. That's why
I know the nitty gritty. It's like
some
stressful shit. Yeah.
Stressful.
Yeah. The way female bathrooms smell is flabbergasting. Yeah, get them all the full body mirrors and special sinks, put lotions in there. Their bathrooms can be better than ours because they still gonna smell terrible. Life. Now y'all wondering, why have I been in them shits?
Narrating this for the only the audio people is he just shaking his head back and forth.
I was hoping you just take it away and run with it.
There's silence, but there is action in the video. He's just shaking his head back and forth, shaking his head no. But yeah, man.
I don't even know what's happening to me. I just got lost. I was just there.
Let's move on from this topic, man.
I just wanted to get away from it.
We got it. We understand. We empathize. Yeah.
Our bathroom smell like pee, poop, or farts. That shit be smelling like question mark. You feel me? You walk into a boy bathroom, you be like, oh, a nigga just shitted in here, cuz. I be like, damn, nigga done peed all over the floor in there, bit. You walk into a female bathroom, you be like, man, god damn. What you said? You remember Gorgas, bro?
What the? Nah, I do remember Gorgas, but please don't
bruh.
The Gorgas bathroom.
Bruh, I came in the bathroom on the wrong floor when I was drunk one night. Oh, man. And it was crazy, bruh. I came in the bathroom on the wrong floor and it was empty. And I was like, oh, damn, it ain't no urinals in here. And then I went to the right floor. It was two girls in there shitting with the door open. I said, oh, no, this is a horror movie. I was in the right bathroom the first time. I should have just peed and dipped. I was like, I'm not going to pee in y'all toilet. That's how honest Abe I kept it. And when I went upstairs, they was in there firing that bitch up. And I was like, I wonder if they take their shits up here in the boy bathroom and they pee down there. And it ain't a whole we want our own bathroom because y'all dirty thing. We gonna do the dumping up here and we gonna keep it class because that bathroom ain't stank that time. Doors was open and everything. It had to be freshly cleaned. But like they was up there dumping up the John. Dumping up the John, cuz.
MCC, bro. At the MCC when BT smelled old girl, she boo-booed at the in the back of the MCC. And he saw her coming up out of there, and he was like, that's the worst thing I ever smelled. Granted, this is the same dude who fell asleep on the toilet, threw up into his drawers while he was shitting on the toilet. And I walked in there, and that was the worst thing I ever smelled. He told me her boo-booing was the worst thing he ever smelled. And I was like...
You don't remember that night?
He definitely don't remember that night, bro. He threw up into his drawers. He was asleep. had threw up into his drawers and was shitting and had to flush the toilet and hadn't no telling how long he had been sitting there. No telling how long he had been sitting there.
Can I ask you a weird question, man?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stuff. It's been a lot of toilet talk on podcasts. You know, I'm gonna ask you a few of the basic questions that like, do you stand or sit when you wipe?
It depends on where I am. I just stand the whole damn time if I'm in a place that's unsanitary.
Okay, if you at home, if it's a home game, we're not talking away games. We're talking all home game situations right now. Mm-hmm. If it's a home game, me, Brave Stadium, you out there at the Montgomery Biscuits facility. It's a Houston Astros.
Minute Maid Stadium, man. That's the Astros.
Okay, Minute Maid Stadium. I'm out there at the Battery. It's a home game.
It's my toilet. I'm sitting down that guy.
You sitting and wiping?
Yeah.
Okay. It's people who stand and wipe. It's people who get up and then wipe their butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's move on quickly because that one's been done to death because everybody had that conversation. But let's have a conversation only men can have. You feel what I'm saying? Real macho shit, man 101 shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
A conversation. I actually seen one clip where this nigga said he was rolling up tissue and catching his turds. You seen that shit?
No.
He was like, what? Y'all just shitting into the water? And niggas was like, tell me you joking. Like the girl looked like she was finna throw up. I'm gonna send you that shit. But said all this to say, I ain't heard that conversation. I'm gonna ask you a personal question. For the people, okay. What you do with your junk when you poop?
With my dick?
I ain't want to ask about that, so I called it a junk. But yeah, what do you do with that?
I take it and I sit it on the lip of the seat so it don't get in the fray. I don't want it in there with none of that barbaric shit, man. So I take it and sit it on the lip of the seat.
Yo, he wild. This is killing me. I need a sip. This shit crazy. That clip gotta go on the promotional. That nigga said, he said, whoa. For the listening audience, the nigga did a finger roll when he said that shit. Like, he did a whole ass Kyrie in this motherfucker.
Oh, man. Episode 12 gonna get us canceled. We thought it was gonna be the one before this, but episode 12 gonna be the one that get us up out of here.
Hey, this gonna blow your mind as a nigga who go Crouching Tiger, hidden guy. Bruh. How do you pee then?
Huh?
You don't pee while you poop?
Yeah. What you mean? I got hands. Like, what you mean? Take that guy, redirect him. I call in the chauffeur, show him back when it's safe. I take the bodyguard and show him back to the room, show him back to the club.
Oh wow.
Give me some headlines. You can read your set. On IG at GimmeSomeHeadlines. On Twitter at GimmeSome_S.
Oh shit.
Right now we are still suspended But
yeah, Twitter suspended us before we even tweeted anything, y'all. They said, "Oh, I can tell by the name these niggas up to something." We ain't post no picture. We ain't got no profile pic. They seen the email.
It's gonna be a doozy.
You feel me? And then when we blow, they're gonna be on our dick, trying to block their blessings. You feel? But
put that dick on the lip of the seat.
I got a quick that's a bet for you, cuz.
Oh man, come on with it.
Man, that tequila got you making bad decisions, man. I gave you a that's a bet that I'm a remix. Cause the deal was to pick who gonna make the finals. You pick one conference, I pick the other. But now both series are 3-1. So I got a remix. You ready? It's still you get to choose in one conference, and I get to choose in the other conference. But you got to choose you choosing forces me into the other one.
Yeah.
No, matter of fact, fuck it. You don't have to choose the underdog. Pick who's going to win the next game of one of those series.
Okay.
It don't matter if you believe both are going to be closeout. Pick the one you think going to be the for sure thing. If you think one going to be an upset and you think it's for sure, choose that one. You feel what I'm saying? But I get to choose the other one, whichever way I see it. And you got to win both bets for the shit to pay off. If you win and I win, we break even.
Okay.
That's a fair bet?
Yeah.
Okay. So which series you choosing? Clippers Suns or Bucks Hawks?
I'm going to say the Bucks Hawks series.
Okay. Okay, before you tell me your choice, now that I know mine, give me a second. Because I created the wager, what's our turns? What we bet? Last time we bet 16 balls that I paid off begrudgingly. I lost. He whooped my ass in the NFL. That's a bet. The first one we actually, saw all the way through. Shouts out to P. Casino P be winning them gambles. We call them gambles and ishkabibbles. We don't really, I just be talking shit. What we wagering, cuz?
The winner of this version, episode 12 version of That's a Bet, NBA playoffs, NBA conference finals. The loser of that bet has to pay for the winner's next round of golf.
Boy, that's what I was thinking. Can I put some sauce on it?
Go ahead.
If you actually win both bets and both are 10-point victories or more, you got to get the Titleist hat too.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. Fuck that. Can you tell you what I really wanted to do? Instead of getting you one with yours, I'm going to just get two with mine. You get two with yours and give me one.
Get two with
the flight board. And I'm going to get two with the C.O.D. and just give you one. So it'll be matching joints. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then
we could just do that. We could just pay for the Titleist hat. Loser pay for the other ones for themselves and the others.
I want two though. If I get two, and give you one, and you get two. It's an idea situation instead of an apple. You know what I'm saying? If I have an apple and you have an apple, fuck that. Let's have two fresh ass hats, a gray and a blue. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I think my bag red. They fresh as fuck. We get, bro. We on that shit. By the next time we on the course, them on the dome. You heard me? That's what I'm saying. If you get two and just leave them out there, we'll play with the Decatur ones when we in Atlanta. Like yours will have your name on it. You feel me? With your set of clubs. And then mine will have, like I just sit it on my bag out there. Who shit that is? Pick the hat up. Okay. Long range.
We seen Big Boy wearing that shit. He made that bitch look good.
Bro, it's the only part of him that wasn't wet.
It was the only part of that nigga that went wet. He was
Where it did.
ass off. And he said in the back of his neck, because it was wet, but he was
Back in there.
he kept them cool. The back of his neck, he said they kept him cool the whole damn joint. When we talking about
That nigga Dave Chappelle said his lips were sweating.
The first golf course that I mentioned, Herman Park, was not where they stole my memory card. The one where we saw that had initially is where they stole the memory card. So we're not gonna shout them out. But Herman Park ain't where we Herman Park is where we at.
Oh, I apologize for the slander. That was the driving range day.
Yeah. We went to the driving range at that one part. And we're not gonna get in no shout out, but we did see the Titleist hat saying Herman Park. Shout out to Herman Park for having crazy fire paraphernalia apparel. Shout out to Titleist for whoever designed that hat, and I might have to put a link to it once we buy ours. I'm put a link to that guy in the show notes, man. So if y'all
No. We got to get our shit first, cause nigga be trying to claim swag. That shit us. We getting our shit first, cuz I'm putting the kibosh on that. Y'all ain't getting that until summer 2022, cuz.
We gonna wear them hoes on the podcast.
Straight up. We gonna do a cast from the golf course with the phones instead of through the thing. We just gonna Zoom meeting from the phone.
Oh man, why are we doing the round?
Hell yeah. Shit on y'all nigga with them Titleist caps.
Yeah, them hoes hard.
So we could do it with one camera, and if you're not swinging, then you record. He putting that in his notes, y'all, if y'all can't, for the audio audience. And just for y'all to know, I'm a stand-up dude. We do these shows on Mondays, and this is Monday, June 28th that we recording this cast. Who knows when y'all gonna get there, yeah. But the Suns is actually playing the Clippers. I don't know why the hell this nigga chose the Bucks, but I made sure to go ahead and get that's a bet in so it wouldn't be deep into the game. And then I kind of know how that shit's shaking out. The Clippers up 30-24, just for y'all FYIs. And you could do them type of updates if you giving context for frame of reference in a conversation. But if we were airing this live, the NBA would be on my dick, you heard me? But that ain't what's happening right here. P, you got your wager ready?
Yeah.
Who you got to win the next game?
The next game is game 5 in Milwaukee. I'm going to take Milwaukee to gentlemen sweep the Atlanta Hawks.
Damn. I think I'm winning that. I'm winning that. Trae Young finna go off. I think he sleeping tiger hidden band there. But bruh, the Clippers winning 30-24, and Marcus Morris is a point leader. Paul George only got 3 points. Is it cheating to look at this? I mean, it's happening. This is right now. Do I think Phoenix gonna close them out? Who they at? Is that the Clippers?
This is game 5. It's in Phoenix right now. But I think the current format is 2-2-1-1-1.
Okay, Book got 9. That mean he finna go off. Damn, I hate to go big team. But I find it hard to believe the Clippers gonna win this game.
I stayed away from them motherfuckers. I did not. The Clip.
Paul George, unfucking predictable.
So unpredictable. He might go off for 40 in the second half, but I don't.
That's what I'm saying. The only thing I could trust him to do is not what I want him to. With fucking David West and Hibbert, he'd take the Heat to 7 and have a nigga sweat. He out here choking versus D-Book and CP 3 to 6 weeks. I don't get it. But That nigga only got 3 points. And I don't know if his team carry him to the fourth, he gonna close like he been closing. But this made me mad as fuck that you picked the Hawks. But I was gonna pick the Hawks to win to surprise you. So should I pick the favorite here? I plan on not picking this series. Dead ass. I misjudged this. So I'm gonna do the opposite of what I think I should do. And I'm going to take the Clippers to win. This is not what I think I should do. So if I lose, I can at least say I was right.
Yeah. I mean,
for the audio artists, I winked at the camera. What you said? He said, hold up.
I said, I took that. You said I took the Hawks. I'm taking, yeah. So you got.
I said I plan on picking that series, and I would have took the Hawks.
I got you.
So I'm fine with having the Hawks. I'm mad that I got to pick this series because my choice affects whether or not I'm right.
Yeah.
Because you could have picked it and won, and I'd be like, cool, broke even. But now if I lose both, I'd have fucked myself if I'd have chose first. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just a loser. But the Hawks gonna pull it out if the Clips don't. Now I gotta watch their game. Ain't this a bitch? Now I gotta care about Paul George. See, that's why this why being a fan is stupid, y'all. And why gambling is bad.
Yeah. It make you do shit to the outcomes that you want.
But y'all gonna get a motherfucking a round of golf from the course that's a payoff, and that's gonna be an episode for y'all. They're gonna be a special edition. We're gonna call that Quinn and Monte when we links. Might even do a motherfucking New York type beat and do a little song for y'all, man. When we links and do a best of from the shots from that day. How you feel about that?
Man, well, we got some great t-shirt names when we links.
With the little nigga T and all.
Yeah. You get like a, all the professional sports have a logo and shit. We need to come up with like our own. We need to come up with our own logos for the sports we fuck with.
I gotta turn the AC on.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Got their long sleeves on.
This shit whooping your ass.
Is that
when we links? So we're gonna come up with our own basketball logo. We're gonna come up with our own tennis logo. We're gonna come up with our own gambling logo. We're gonna come up with our own golf logo. We're gonna come up with our own. We're gonna come up. Oh man, we need to come up with our own rapping logo. like a league logo for rap.
And that's what I mean by Inception and seeds being planted. It's people trying to figure out how to bastardize verses right now, but they scared of what the culture would do to them if they did it this early. But trying to turn that into a format where you can have like a champ. Like, nigga, come with your best single and you're going to play 82 games. You know what I'm saying? Your record is what it is. We gonna let the internet decide.
See, bro, like, oh man, because I came up with an idea earlier today. I don't even know if I want to say it on wax. I do want to say it on wax.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Save it for the post game. I cut it in the post game. Don't do it in show.
Okay. Fair enough.
Write that down so you remember to tell me.
I'm writing it right now.
This thing ain't kicking my ass, y'all. We decided last minute. Nah, I ain't giving y'all the show secrets. I'm just hot. It ain't the tree. And I'm drinking. So my body temp raising. Temperatures rising. You said Verizon? Can you hear me now? You hear me?
Yeah.
For those of y'all on the audio medium, niggas who play poker, when they bluffing, sometimes they have a tail. And so do niggas who want their partner to ask them questions, but they only see it if they're looking at him. And I wasn't looking at him to see if whether or not he was looking, and I threw this nigga like 5 tails.
I was right. I did.
I seen that. That's why I started talking. You done started freezing. Your whole internet flustered. Everybody flustered on your end. You ready for the headline, nigga? You frozen like a motherfucker. You heard me. Cut your video and restart it. You good again. Don't do nothing. I can see you. Okay. All right. How the lumber industry, this by NBC News, how the lumber industry misread COVID and ended up, that's a long title. How the lumber industry misread COVID and ended up with a global shortage and sky-high prices. Non-boomers, this is by BuzzFeed. I told you I got a few light ones this week. Non-boomers are sharing the most boomer opinions, and they make some points, to be honest. Pacific Northwest heat wave peaks Monday with temperatures 50 degrees above average. That story is by Axios.
Man. I was somebody today that's out in Seattle said it was 106 degrees out there. I was like, God, Seattle.
Nigga, imagine being up on the North Platte in that kitchen, nigga.
I had to quit.
The one thing I will say, she was good about pumping that AC.
Yeah.
I can't remember one day where I was like, it's hot as fuck in here. I can't remember one day where I was like that. And she cut it on when it needed to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about Shell Graham, like, she never caught you in there. She'd see you in there and be like, what you got going on next? And you'd have to have an answer. If you was just in that bitch, she'd be like, all right, you need to find something to do, though. You feel me? Cut some peppers or some shit, nigga. You had to have an answer. But she was like, hey, cool the fuck down there and get the fuck on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. We stood in there and drunk wine one day. We was both having a day. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. No cap.
Man.
That was one of the first days we hugged. Huh?
I remember having to go in that freezer, boy. That freezer was awful. That freezer was hell.
Oh, yeah. Fun thing about the freezer is you try to not go in it. So what you'd end up doing is exposing yourself to it. You like lean all the way into it so the air would rush down your chef coat. You feel that shit all the way down in your G. You like, oh shit, what the fuck do you got them chicken tenders at? You know what I'm saying? Damn kids. Fuck them kids. We out of tenders. We doing dumb shit. Nah, bullshit.
We did. Nah, I definitely out of them kids. We ain't got no more tenders.
You lying. That nigga P. We ran out of pizza. That nigga P looked at how to make dough from scratch. And he only got like 4 of them bitches together. But the look on them kids' faces when that nigga brought them pizzas in there, he said, we got tomato sauce. We got pepperoni. Well, who you get to cut that pepperoni? Was it Kev? You figured the shit out. I was over there I was doing breakfast shit so that you could do that shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like prep shit. I was like, I got you. Go do that shit, bro. It was like that. I think I was doing pancakes and shit. Kind of whole next day you had to remix the pancakes. You was like, yeah, these ain't my pancakes. I can't send these out because they gonna be like, these ain't like they was yesterday. And I was like, bro, that's why I made the eggs. I don't know what. He was shitting on my pancake. Yeah, perfecting them shits. Fuck that nigga, cuz. Talk to the people about that shit for a second, man.
That shit was that was an experience, bro. Like, we really had to attach our nigga. I ain't trying to make it. I wasn't even finna do it. Like, don't even look this way if that's what you want from me. Like, if that's what you about to ask me, make one of these omelets. Like, nah, man, I don't do the eggs. That's not who I am. I will scramble you some, but I'm not the person in this kitchen that make the eggs. I make the French toast, I make the pancakes, and I make anything on this grill, I make. That's it. That's where my talents end. Anything on the stovetop, that's cuz. Like, don't do none of this shit over here.
If it contact cooking, for my nigga P, you should be looking. If that thing need to be set to flame, you already know, bring that shit to dang. Hey, you talking about, but square B in it. Nick, like, to be honest with y'all, I wasn't in my healthiest mental state when I got there, and the process of being there was cathartic, and it got me to a good place, and then I came back to a very unhealthy situation, and then boom. But anyway, the light in the room turned red. Hold up. Said all that to say, people, like, it was a crazy like, every kitchen got the Gordon Ramsay or the asshole. On the dinner shift, it was the fucking head chef. On the breakfast shift, this guy. And I'm not proud of it. It's something I realized midway through, and then I did something about it. But, like, they would fuck up an order and come in and be like, hey, you guys made this wrong. And I was like, let me see the ticket. And they were like, nah, because we made what was on the fucking ticket. They wrote it down wrong. You feel what I'm saying? So it got to the point to where we were arguing this shit, and very quickly they were scared to come and ask me to remake something. So they would come and ask this nigga P for something, like he could make an omelet on the fucking flat top. Like, P, can you just whip me up an omelet real quick? I don't even want to deal with it today. And I'd hear him say that shit, and I'm like, we at work. If you come ask me to do that shit, you really telling me I have to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just come tell me to do the shit. But, like, they ain't gonna ask that nigga P. Be like, man, I can't do that shit. You better go talk to that nigga, man. And they start showing love, though. They do shit like run and grab the avocados. If it was a weird ass order, like, Dave, they want some avocados spread on top of a sunny side up and a da-da-da-da-da. I already got your 2 avocados. Boom, boom. And I was like, see, that's why I fuck with you, Helen. Because, you know, I fuck up an avocado and she'll wink and go back into the front of the house. I said, boom, that's that bond. You feel what I'm saying? That's trips to Colorado and kicking it and popping shit. You feel what I'm saying? Front of the house, back of the house. That's wine on Friday.
She's the worst rider I've ever seen in my entire life.
I ain't gonna say worse. She the most confident. She the most confident
driver.
She ain't seen 3 digits that made her. She the only person I ever seen text message doing 100. Only person going up a fucking mountain, up one. Thank God it wasn't down. Bro, we came over that horizon so goddamn fast, bro. Nigga, my ears popped. It felt like I was in an airplane. That shit was fire, though.
103. She did 103. Driving with her knees, nigga. I've never. My asshole.
Fire.
Ankles. My asshole was in my ankles, nigga. You know the little thing up here by the on the door. I don't know why the little joint to be up there.
You hang clothes on it.
My forearm was burning me. I was that hoe. I was like, ooh.
And that's the thing. If you shook, it don't shake her driving. She don't go, oh, you having a tough time? Let me go 90. She don't give a fuck. Coming back from Colorado, bro, I am high as a kite. I done had a 20 milligram Coca-Cola. And I done ate 2 packs of gummies. Each gummy was 10 milligrams. I shouldn't have ate 2 packs. Bro, I'm on the moon. Bro, I dead ass had a pre-roll and I hit it too hard and blew the whole blunt out the front of the blunt. Bro, I was like, it was a paper, but it was like, that shit went out the window. It was like, all the weed. I said, God damn. Shouted, look back, going 90 miles an hour. Look back like, did you just blow that shit out the window? I was like, yeah. She just shook her head, bro, and pulled over at the next one and went in there and copped me 2 more. I said, you know what? That's why I fucks with you, shawty.
Yeah, she good people, man.
Bro, she good people. Cause she said it looked like I had lost my cookie, bro. It looked like I had dropped my ice cream. Also, I got my ice cream. She went and caught me 2 more, bro. And then told me to jump in the front seat, caught away the wind whip. It wouldn't happen again. And she was dead at right. I smoked the rest of the trip and I ain't had that problem.
She one of them folks that like, cause she definitely looked like Southern girl, sorority girl who might have a nigga fetish and kind of racist at the same time. But like I've kicking it with her that whole summer made me realize like not how it reminded me of why I don't judge groups of people and I just judge individuals.
Okay, I was hoping that was coming around to that not being the case.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, okay.
She one of the reasons why you judge individuals, not whole groups of people.
100%.
Like you judge people off their character, not based off what they look like. Because she looked like somebody I'm like, I don't think we gonna get along. The more I kicked with her, the more I fuck with her. The only thing is
the dopest human beings I've met are people who make it clear they don't want shit from you but your time.
Yeah.
Because you just around because they enjoy when the fuck you around. And you get to have them around for the same reason. Them the best fucking people, bro. Hey, man, you trying to go to Colorado? Man, hell yeah. When we leaving? 3:00. 4-5 hours pass. This shit become a girl's trip. This like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th Colorado trip. You feel me? It has become a girl's trip. It's like 7 of them going. She made them take 2 cars because I was a part of the original trip. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I'm not leaving Dave because it's a girl, because she had the SUV. And the funniest part, bro, is when they split the car, the only person in the other car was the driver. And we dead ass had like a huddle, and they decided who had to ride in the other car to make the other car necessary. It was one of them situations. I don't even mean to say it like that, but the person in the friend group who they wouldn't really want to come tagged along, and she thought she could veto me. And then she was like, well, shit, I'll drive. Thinking her car would fill up. You feel what I'm saying? But it was like, shit, I'm being in the car with the hell and the goddamn Dave and fucking Shorty. I ain't gonna count everybody because then it tells you who the conversation was between. But that car ride was funny as fuck. And it was some like, I want to ride with Pop because Pop got the cool car type shit. Y'all got to ride with Mama and be quiet and deal with cigarette smoke and shit. Because they switched up who got to ride with us going back. But our car was the one that was lit the whole time. And that was the last thing I say, and I throw it back to you. The shit that was crazy about that ride back, she just had me randomly. She was like, man, yeah, P let me hear a little bit of the music, but he told me, you got all of that shit. And I was like, yeah, I got a lot of that shit. She was like, you got 4 hours worth? I was like, you bullshitting. She was like, She threw me the aux. I said, shit. So, nigga, we zooming through the fucking medicine bowl and shit, going through that beautiful area with our catalog just thumping in that motherfucker. I'm talking about she had that big crank. They was on like 26, nigga. And we just in that bit. I want to say the car so you can get the whole kind of feel for it. Say that shit and bleep that shit.
Yeah.
It was me, K. You feel what I'm saying? You know who K is, Braces. You already know it.
So you know what it could have. I'm making a big gesture.
I appreciate that. Who was the girl who was quiet but was sexy on the low though? Blonde hair chick.
Haley? Oh nah.
Hell nah.
Yeah.
She used to roll with the crew all the time.
Hey, oh man.
It'll make her mad if she know we was talking about that. We can't advertise this show in the cast. Let's just move on. It was a cool lad car. You feel what I'm saying? And at the time, we hadn't hung out as a group, even though we all kind of knew each other. Nicole, that's who it was. It was Nicole, K, H, and me. Liddy. That was the ride back. The ride down, K rode in the other car because she drew the short straw. We dead ass ended up drawing straws. We went in while they was playing Catan, and we had got some straws. They was in there playing that goddamn board game. And they was like, Dave, why are you going? I was like, y'all really asking why I'm going to Colorado? The art. We did that. We just went shopping and shit, bro. When we was in girl stores a good bit of the time and shit, but then we went to little sneaker play, we went into this fucking art gallery that was all pianos. Bro, that shit was a fire trip. We went to FOCO that time. It was a Fort Collins trip. We ain't going to Denver that time. Yeah. That was a FOCO. And we went artsy fartsy.
Steamboat.
It was people in there protesting. I signed a petition under a fake name. See more butts out there supporting the cause. Fire shit. How was your trips into Colorado, man?
I only really took that one to the airport where I had to go back to a wedding, and then I took. Oh man, the best one I took was the one we did. The one we did the steamboat was great, but the one I took I took my day off and I went when my homie had just got divorced and they was out in Aspen, and so I just took the day to go out there.
Yo.
Because my homies was there. My homie.
You ain't never tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Oh man, that shit was great. So it was the best drive I've ever had in my entire life. It was the most terrifying drive I've ever had in my entire life, outside the 20 hours that we drove into the night into Texas. But so I left when I got off that day because the next day was an off day. So I got off that day around like 2 or 3 or so. I had the MapQuest because your phone don't work like out there, like way the fuck out there. So I had to MapQuest that shit and memorize the motherfucking directions, like to get to the roads and shit. And Jay Stone sent me like down. He MapQuested like this joint. He was like, "Well, you gonna take this way? Like this way is a lot more scenic." And I was like, "Cool, I'll take the scenic way." Man, I took that scenic way, bro. It was the most beautiful drive I've ever taken. Like in that part of the country, I'm glad that more people don't live out there, but I feel like once motherfuckers start learning about it, more people gonna move out there. And like I would love to be out there, like just in that. I wouldn't even call it wilderness, man, but like it's just mountainous, it's a bunch of lakes and shit. And so like I made that drive like through the mountains and like that area of Wyoming, and then I got into Colorado and just got to see some really beautiful landscapes. And then I hit Independence Pass, which is at its apex. I think it's like almost 13,000 feet in the air. And it's a pass like through some fucking mountains that creates a shortcut to get to Aspen, Colorado. And they like a dude, because I've been to Aspen like 4 or 5 times. And there was a guy who I saw the last time me and the lady was there together. He told me, he was like, it's a pass called Independence Pass. I didn't remember it when I went through it, coming from Wyoming. But once I got to like the little, it's a place to stop when you at like the apex and to tell you like your elevation, and then the guy like places like, it was middle of fucking June when I went out there, bro, and I got to the apex of that shit and it was snowing like a motherfucker at the top of the damn mountain. Like it was snowing like a bitch. Like I went up that motherfucker and I had on a t-shirt and I had on some like soccer pants, and I got up out the car. And I was like, ooh. And I had to throw on I brought a hoodie, thank God. Like I threw my little hoodie on, got up there, took like a little selfie and shit. And like I took some I gotta upload that B-roll, but I took some like good B-roll like while I was up there and shit. And it dropped you literally like, I saw a fox that was as blue as that wasn't as blue as your shirt, but that motherfucker was blue. Like the blue behind
a blue fox.
It was a blue fox. That shit was blue, and it stood in the middle of the road and looked at me. Like, you can only drive 10 miles an hour. Like that's how fucking crazy that pass is. You can only drive 10 miles an hour in some parts of that bitch. And I saw a blue fox stop in the middle of the fucking road. It was out of a fucking movie. That bitch just looked at me, kept running across the street. And I couldn't get my fucking camera out fast enough to take a picture of that bitch, but that bitch was beautiful. It's beautiful. And like you up there and you see like some settlements and shit or whatever, and that shit dropped me right into fucking Aspen. And I pulled right up into that bitch and went to a restaurant with my homie them, bro. We went to a little restaurant, had me a nice ass steak, some red wine. I think I had asparagus and like some red potatoes and some shit like that. It was that shit was fantastic. Then homie Pops had bought some tickets to he went online while we was at dinner, bought tickets to our favorite venue out there, which is Belly Up Aspen. And we went to like this little concert shit. Me, my partner who had recently got divorced, and then my other partner and his wife was out there. And we just kicked it, man. And I went back to the crib. His buddy wife went to sleep, and me, it was the 3 guys. We all moved in together in Houston. We had all lived together at some point, which is why I went out there to fuck with them, because we lived together for 3 years. And we just sat out there, got smacked on some of that shit that this Pops had got from the dispensaries, RIP, Mike Foe, and we just kicked it, man. The next morning I got up, enjoyed breakfast, and then I went back to the mountain with everybody else, man. But it was a great trip, man. That was the intro to oh my God, High Tide. The intro to High Tide is part of that trip is a part of my verse. Made a trip to show my love. Found that it's conditional. Might not say it, but I give a fuck. My presence is medicinal. Been mixing up acid ingredients in the pot. I'm striding round third, but this home run trap.
That was during the time when we wasn't talking, but we was making music. I was his next door neighbor. Like, we was the only people who had like apartments, and we didn't talk about that shit for 2 years. That's some life shit though. That's why we doing these cows, man. We gonna get to know each other a little bit.
More of my verse was about that. Independence Pass, time lapse a couple miles high. Tires on the edge, you fearing death when you found flight. Powder sugar in the sky, topless women riding by. Yeah, most of that verse is about that trip I took out to Colorado to Aspen.
Most of that verse is him getting murked by me on my verse.
You must be on a cigar. No way you like. Oh yeah. No way you like to bleeze it that long. You go burn had to bleeze it.
That's funny as shit.
You on that Monte Cristo? Oh,
CCC.
Yeah. Classic series.
And you know this. That's that wine burp. We out here, cuz.
Yeah,
I've been nursing Milton.
Yeah, this was dope shit.
Yeah. I sidetracked us on this. I sidetracked a nigga on the GSH, bruh. You give a fuck about any of them stories? The heat wave. I guess we talked about the heat wave though, and then talked about the Northwest. Yeah, we chose. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. Fuck that lumber. Yeah. I'm tripping. I look back down. I said, "Nah, we chose. Okay, I'm crazy as fuck. What else? What else? That shit ain't smooth at all." Bruh, this episode 12, cuz. And we talk about the time we spent, cause we find a way to make ourselves feel at home, love on the people around us, have a good time wherever we are. But we were in a state that had more cows than people. So you could only imagine how many Negroes was up there. You know what I'm saying? We was all the Negroes we saw most days. And that's in a 5-month span of time. Am I lying on you?
No.
Nah, okay. So, rough transition to episode 12. 12, a nickname for the police, who I will make a very short argument for being in their inception and to this day, slave catchers. This is what we at Gimme Some Headlines like to call a conspiracy brother. How you feel, P?
Conspiracy brother.
And I'm going to keep this extremely simple for y'all. Police are slave catchers for one simple reason. They are the people who arrest you. They are the people who take you to prison and then process you into confinement. The 13th Amendment has one of the best PR agents in world history because they tell people that the 13th Amendment abolished slavery when that is not what it did at all. What the 13th Amendment did was take the economic power gained from slavery out of the hands of the private sector and give it to the government. That's what they did. And that's why the South fought against it. Because it gave the U.S. government the economic power that they held over their industry. Free labor has always been something that gave people an economic leg up. You see China's progress to this day. You feel what I'm saying? But to be very direct, the 13th Amendment reads very clearly, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime. I'm going to say that again. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. If your ancestors had been enslaved, would you feel like something abolished that if it had the word except in it?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if that was rhetorical or not, but no.
If somebody said Bill Cosby didn't rape anybody except for when he put that stuff in their drink. Did he or did he not rape people?
That sound like he raped.
Okay, so did it or did it not abolish slavery? It fucking did not, did it?
It did not abolish slavery.
Okay. And if it says very clearly, except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, which means it gave slavery to the judiciary branch of the government. That's what the fuck the 13th Amendment did. Read the 13th Amendment. It did not abolish slavery. It gave slavery as a financial institution to the judiciary branch of the government. The legislative branch of the government gave slavery to the judiciary branch of the government. That's what the 13th Amendment did. Read this shit. If you're going to celebrate Juneteenth, know that it is you celebrating when slaves were released way after they should have been. It should be a day we protest, not a day we celebrate. It should be a day we protest for shit we still ain't got that we already should have. Juneteenth should be a day we show our ass. And that if they're going to give us a paid day off, let's use that motherfucker. You understand me? Read the 13th Amendment. It did not abolish slavery. I will say it 3 times. The 13th Amendment was a move by the legislative branch of the government to give slavery to the judiciary branch of the government to monetize. Period. And that's why when people like Biden helped craft that crime bill with Clinton and the 3 strikes law started fucking with the mandatory minimums and possession become a felony that you can give niggas double-digit years for. A felony is simply a crime you spend more than a year in jail for. But they make you think felons are hardened criminals. It's because of what jail do to them. The actual crime does not have to be heinous for you to spend more than a year in prison. And by definition, if you are convicted of a felony, you become property of the state, which is by definition a slave. That is what property means. And there are more slaves in the country today than there were when they signed the 13th Amendment, by percentage and by sheer population. And for it to still be more than 50% black is for there to be more black slaves in the country now than when the 13th Amendment was signed. So fuck your abolishment of slavery. And the police are slave catchers because they are the people who go out and get this capital for the judiciary system to then duly convict and turn into capital. This shit $1 billion industry. Police are slave catchers. So when you talk about how they deal with the property they're trying to acquire, think about how them people wrangle horses and wild bulls and shit and understand that they're trying to acquire property. And it's a reason why whenever they damage the merchandise, they find a way to blame it on the human being so that they can still try to turn them into property. Because you're not valuable as a citizen. You expensive as a citizen. You a lawsuit potentially as a citizen. But if they can convict you of something, you'll just be happy to get them charges dropped. Police are slave catchers. Always have been. The badge resembles that of what the slave catchers used to have as their badge and credo and crest. They were in their inception slave catchers until this goddamn day. By definition, they acquire the property for the judiciary branch of the government. They are still slave catchers. Somebody explain to me how they not. One motherfucker explain to me how the police are not slave catchers, please. And tell me how the 13th Amendment abolished slavery when it has the word "except" in it and then gives that power to the judiciary committee. Branch of the government, excuse me. Those is executive, legislative, and judiciary, right? I'm not mixing that up. Okay.
Yeah. Legislative
gave it to the judiciary. That's all that happened with the 13th Amendment. It took it out of the private sector.
Yeah.
So you growing cotton down in Georgia couldn't use it. Now me, when I get all these prisoners, you can pay me to pick your cotton, and I'll send my labor to go pick your cotton. We'll work out a deal like that. But that's a whole nother story. You feel what I'm saying? They don't want to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
They slick as a motherfucker, bro.
Can I give you a thought while you were talking that I thought of?
Go ahead, bro. That's the conclusion of my shit, man. But, bro, even if you read the rundown on it, bro, go ahead, bro. I ain't even gonna keep going. I might bring it back for episode 24.
We've been
take that, Jack Bauer. We go ahead, bro.
We've been enjoying a TV show that shows it is a quote unquote fictional show with historical context. Snowfall, and it talks about how the CIA and the law enforcement funneled drugs, or they laundered drugs through the black community to fuel a war. And that show led me.
Iran-Contra?
Drugs is.
Which one? What time is it set in? 80s?
Snowfall is in the 80s, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm going to look up what war that was.
And so the government made it illegal for citizens to sell drugs. Drugs then became illegal for us to sell. But the government does it at will. Like, the reason they catch huge, like, big drug dealers is so they can confiscate what they have without having to get it themselves. And they book that shit in evidence, but it'll find its way right back into the system.
Part of how they find it is because they were the source of it. Yeah. They followed the 6 degrees of separation and brought it back home. Monetized it twice. That's all they do.
And so when it comes to slavery, is they recognize the business model that they wanted for themselves. They outlawed it for citizens and kept it for themselves. Found a way to, and like you said, they have a good PR department. It's like, well, we need to be able to justify this to the people, is that we legalize slavery. Well, if these people do something wrong, we need to punish these people with slavery. We don't call it that. We say we outlawed it in this amendment, but we use it for our monetary gain, and that's the way we give it to people. It's like, well, we keeping these hardened criminals out of your communities. This is why they doing this.
Outlaw heroin. Get the whole country hooked on opioids after you invade the Middle East and have access to all the poppy fields. Coincidence that we spent the past 20 years in the Middle East and the past 20 years fighting the opioid epidemic? I think not. Because that shit illegal, because the people who would have profited off of it was brown countries. Now that they figured out how to tax marijuana, look at that shit slowly get monetized.
By who? Mostly.
With all kind of grandfather clauses to people who can grow it. You had to have a farm for 20 years and all kind of bullshit like that. They know exactly where to paint the lines, just like they put Social Security outside the life expectancy for black men. That shit slick it for.
The reason why niggas are still sitting in jail right now, who's sitting in prison and federal penitentiaries for selling weed, is because they know as soon as these niggas hit the motherfucking block and it's all legalized, they gonna go somewhere where it's legalized and they gonna just fucking sell it again. They're gonna be the best to fucking do it because they was the best when they got fucking arrested for it. And they were
the same way
to our fucking community.
The same way California used slave labor to fight wildfires at 19 cents an hour and then prevent them black men for being firefighters once they are released from prison. They're not gonna let niggas who were convicted for selling drugs sell drugs when they get out. They're not gonna do that. They don't let firefighters be firefighters. You think they're gonna let drug offenders sell drugs? Not Uncle Sam. If Uncle Sam that nigga, I wonder what grandfather up to. That nigga a son of a bitch. You heard me? What my notes say? Let get out of here. We too deep into the shits, man. Nigga, that's like, bro. I feel like I done drug us all the way into the muck, man. And I did that. We was so deep in the muck. I had to go to my notes to figure out what was gonna pick us back up. Pete, tell me something good, man.
Yeah. I recently saw this story, man, that the original story came out in 2017 when this started taking place. And then the next iteration of the story resurfaced in 2021. What usually happens in 4-year increments, bro?
College, high school graduation, Olympics.
You got it. You said it in the first one. College. College happens in 4-year increments. In Ohio,
World Cup.
it's a set of quadruplets.
OCD.
Set of quadruplets. And those young men, all 4 got into 59 of the best universities in the country. They all chose Yale in 2017. They all graduated in May. One brother's gonna stay. He's gonna stay in school for an extra semester. He gonna leave in December because he want to write a dissertation. He gonna finish up, but like he's graduated, but he want to stay and finish like this. I'm sorry. But 4 brothers got in.
Hold up for a second, brother. You broke up.
Through all 4 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna let this thing stabilize.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think, it's working late.
We here. Yeah. 4 brothers got accepted to Yale in 2017. 4 brothers graduated from Yale in 2021. And the something good that I wanted to bring to attention wasn't that they got into an Ivy League school and graduated from an Ivy League school. The something good is, man, to have 4 sons, like that support system, to create the support system with those parents, that family, those friends, that group of people, to be able to create a support system to where I know people with a bunch of things. Oh shit! Somebody, for them to have this support system and galvanize around each other and do this thing together and support each other all 4 years. Like they said, they lived in 4 different corners of the damn of the campus while they was up there. But the thing that they helped them to get themselves through Yale were each other. And so to have the parents that they did, and to have the grandparents and the people who infused into them, like the high schools, whatever, all the things that contributed to them and built that community up around them, and them having each other, I'm sure had to do a lot with, because they all go into like different, like 2 brothers are going to be working for Goldman Sachs, but they're going to be on opposite ends of the country. And then one brother's going to be close to New Jersey. He living in New York. Working in New York, living in New Jersey. Is going to be close to his brothers. And one is staying to do research in New Haven. So he going to be close to his brother who's doing his thesis. So they're going to be close to each other. But you got 4 brothers essentially all now living in different places. So they're not codependent on each other. And they never were codependent on each other. This is something they just decided to do. and they completed this thing together, man. And it's something good because it also folds into an idea that I have that I'm currently concocting, and I share it with. I think I shared it with you in bits and pieces, and I'm not going to share it here on the podcast until we've copyrighted that thing and it becomes something that we own. But it's an idea that I've had, like, to see this happen in real life. I know there was like a book about 4 cats who met each other in college, and they were all like pre-med, and they all got like through school together. But like, this is a real life instance where 4 brothers got into Yale, got through Yale, graduated, and are doing great things in the world. And like, they made just like super crazy. Also, let me I'm gonna share those because I had that story pulled up. Let me share what they majors and shit are. And these, I'm sorry, they are the Wade quadruplets. Wade quadruplets. They majored in.
You can't say that's hard to say when you HTIV, my nigga. You gotta have all of that down.
Yeah. All right, so
practice that.
Graduated with a degree in political science. He minored in Arabic. Zach double majored in chemical engineering and economics. Nigel received his degree in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology. Aaron double majored in computer science and psychology, and shared a ceremonial graduation celebration with his brothers, but will spend one more semester at Yale to finish his senior thesis. So Aaron is going to kick it and finish his senior thesis. And then let me go down here. So Zach will be out in San Francisco at Goldman Sachs. Nick is at Goldman Sachs in New York City, but is living in New Jersey. Nigel is doing research in New Haven. And Aaron is going to be the brother that's going to be still there working on his thesis, man. So like that shit brought happiness to me, man. Like, to be able to see them go out and to do these things. Like, who knows what kind of dope shit they can concoct as 4 brothers, and like what ideas they worked up, and like what they finna take over the world, bro. I'm hoping for it.
Hey, that's dope.
Crazy shit to come back, and we're gonna be like, oh wow, like they going to get this experience at Goldman and doing the research and doing all of this stuff. Cause I want to read his thesis when he done with it, because I feel like it's gonna be some amazing shit, man. But shout out to the Wade brothers. Shout out to mom and daddy Wade. Shout out to grandpa Wade on both sides. Shout out to the aunts, uncles, friends, and family that kept these young men grounded and supported them through their endeavor. Shout out to Yale for giving them, because they said Yale treated them like they was family. Like, Yale really reached out to them and showed them love. And everything that I've read about Yale, they are nothing like that other school in Boston. They are not nearly as uppity, and so.
I spent a little time fucking around up there in New Haven. I fucks with New Haven. They show me love. Yeah. This ain't about me though, but yeah, I support that. Shouts out to Yale.
Yeah, shout out to Yale, man. And so GSH season 1, episode 12.
Hold up, nigga. This my episode, cuz. This has been a motherfucking C.O.D. Decatur. What music? In there, back. GSH. Gimme Some Headlines. Season 1, episode 12. PJ told y'all something good, and I'm going to tell y'all something hood. Goodbye.